Hello, everyone. We're live on YouTube.
Hi, Soul family. We're getting really good at our art because guess what? We're on our community hangs out in YouTube. Our community, like all of our Soul family, our Ascension students, they're always on YouTube. So, hi, you guys. And we're also live on Facebook. Hi, Facebook Soul family. Move over to YouTube if you want to feel a part of like the Soul Fam community. We're on Eldora and Saman, or stay here. And we're also live on Instagram.
So this is our first time doing 3 platforms. Slowly getting there.
Switch to YouTube.
Yeah.
Amazing. So we can see all of you. We love you, and we are excited beyond measure for this outstanding transmission. The biggest challenge that we're having is staying grounded through all of it. And the last half an hour, we've been grounding. So we're feeling really, really good. How are you guys feeling? Do you guys feel the energy? I'm curious. Do you guys feel the energy of what you're about to hear?
We've been getting a lot of downloads from Merlin, and when his energy comes in, it's extremely strong and potent. Like my shoulders are because of the energy. So it takes a lot of grounding.
Ha.
How have you guys been?
So I just want to start by saying, as we're come on in. This is going to be about an hour of a transmission or so. And amazing. I'm seeing all your excited comments and stuff. We are going to go through the table of contents in just a moment. Before we move on, please hit the like button. Even if you're watching on TV, take a moment and hit the like button. This is a request because we are asking for your help in really boosting our algorithms. So keep up the likes, keep up the comments, because our intention is to make these transmissions, these galactic transmissions, available to all of humanity and not let algorithms stop us, because this force that we're feeling, this light explosion of light, needs to be shared with everybody.
Well, I'm seeing a new energy in YouTube I haven't seen in ages. I love that we're getting regular now.
Yes!
And our Soul family, it's like a reunion every week.
Oh, so ready for this as well, you guys. So I just want to start by saying, I want you guys to catch up with the magic in our lives. Our lives have literally, this solstice, which just passed June 21st, have literally taken a complete up-leveling. And I have a feeling many of you are going through the same thing. So let us know, since solstice...
Oh, hold on. On Instagram, they can't hear us. We just have to activate this.
Give me 1 second, guys.
Yeah, just make sure it's green.
Yeah.
Instagram, can you guys hear us now?
How's the sound now? Good? Sound now?
Let us know. No sound.
Okay, you guys move over to YouTube.
Yeah,
we're on YouTube right now.
Oh, okay, I think we're good.
You got
now.
Sound? You guys got sound?
Give us a yes.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect.
So I just want to get you guys caught up to the magic in our life since solstice.
And Facebook, let us know if the sound's okay as well. Perfect.
There's a lot of energy for this. So we have Merlin with us right now. We called in Merlin. We called in Melchizedek. Many of you may start to feel him through the transmission. We have set up a very powerful temple space. And before we even get started, I just want to ask you guys, how has your life been since solstice of this year? Saman and I have gone through a massive up-leveling in all aspects. First of all, we did the solar flash healing and attunement at NEMS at our New Earth Mystery School last week. It was one of the most powerful healings we have ever channeled. It literally feels like the post-solstice energies were channeled into the solar flash. And now that we reflect back on what happened, it literally feels like the angels, the guides, Merlin, all these beings of light were giving us the attunements and the activations required to up-level to the solar flare frequencies coming in.
And I just wanted to add that Eldora was on fire that day. If you missed the New Earth Mystery School healing of the solar flash, Eldora was absolutely like, we got the download that she has to take charge and lead the healing. And people were knocked off their socks. Many people said that they were fully in a trance state. They went into a different state. They got a very, very deep healing. And in the middle of the healing, Eldora channeled this part where it was on the spot where she said, now everybody towards the end break free of their caskets or chains or locks or whatever is binding you into this third dimension. And many people had a breakthrough where they just shattered their veils of illusion and had like a soul level birthing. And it was very, very powerful. And I was shocked because not just 1 or 2 people said that. Many people said that they had the similar experience.
That's very sweet. You know, and another thing that we were shown is that many people who did this healing said, we had no idea we needed this healing. Almost everybody said that. We worked on their solar plexus, we worked on their root chakra, because the energies coming in are literally feeling like light workers need to activate their confidence and increase their foundation to really step into the soul mission, divine soul missions we're all being blessed with. So another very interesting thing happened. We let this whole solar flash activation, it was beyond powerful. Somebody who works with us, Liara, literally, this is a true story. She used to write like AI, very head-oriented, logic-oriented writing. And for the past year, I've been teaching her how to write from her heart. Literally, solar flash comes in and she's just up-leveled. She said, my God, this was the most powerful healing I've ever received from Eldora and Saman. She told us this. She's attended all our healings. And she said, what really happened was I'm just transported into a new reality where I can write from my heart. All of a sudden, my divine feminine is activated. I know how to balance my energies. I know how to stay more in my divine feminine energy and not get stuck in the logical, nerdy energy that I go off into the masculine. So guys, these are massive changes coming online. And here's the best part. Right after the healing finished, it was 5 p.m. or so for us, we received guidance because we had just had liquids all day. We received guidance to do our own private sacred plant medicine ceremony with mushrooms. And so Siman and I said, okay, sure. This was complete guidance. We had no plans of doing it. We went into ceremony, and guess what? This was right after the healing we gave you. Guys, the angels gave us all the activations we gave you. It was the biggest treat of our lives.
It was phenomenal.
We were like connected.
And I think you should be jealous because our healing was even better than yours.
Oh, you mean the one we received?
Yeah, the one we received.
They're happy for us.
They literally showered us with like.
You guys are happy for us. Guys, so many blessings. And I have the best news as well for you. I have many best news moments for you today. So stick through the transmission. It's going to activate the living fuck out of you. All of you.
And
that's
if
our
you
intention.
cannot tell, our energy is activated as fuck right now because we've been channeling the Lyrans, we've been channeling Merlin, we've been channeling the White Winged Feline Collective of Series B. And it's like all of their electricities are running through our Ka channels right now. So we're also sending you a transmission from the heart and raising your frequency with these galactic codices.
Whew, thank you for that. So that, okay. So we have so much to cover, but I have to tell you everything. So that day in the NEM solar flash healing, everybody thought I was singing at the end and it wasn't me. And so I got a very, it was like I was playing a track and everyone was like, Eldora, your voice, your voice, your voice. And I've been getting the message that I'm in the Hathor timeline right now. And I have to set up my bowls and start singing and channeling the Hathor frequencies. And I just haven't made time for it. I just knew that it was time because everybody in our audience reflected that to me. That night, guys, ready for this? That night in our sacred mushroom ceremony, what happened, Saman? The implant.
Oh, yeah.
That was installed.
There was a Hathor implant that I saw for the first time. It was being built, or I would say installed, in the back of Eldora's head, right above her Alta major chakra, which is usually in the back of the head, where the head meets the neck. There's a cavity here. And it looks like a golden ring on the outside and a silver sphere in the inside, and it's slightly protruding from the back. And I was shown, while installing all of this, I was shown that this is a 7th dimensional implant that's connected to Lyra and the Hathor frequencies. So it's not going to channel sound. It's going to channel a 7th dimensional sound frequency, which is inaudible to the human ear. But through this implant, it can be channeled into the frequencies of her vocal cords. And whenever she sings, it'll be very pure 7th dimensional Lyra and Hathor frequency, which will heal cellular level, any diseases, anything in misalignment. And
implants.
It also activates the DNA. As many people know, sound is a very powerful activator of the DNA, but you have to channel higher frequency sound. It's not like you can play rock and roll and activate your DNA.
And they also told us that I don't need any prep. They're just activating it from a vocal cord level. But what I did do in the ceremony is I started like toning all kinds of notes, and it felt like a major reorganization was going on of my throat chakra. Before we go into Merlin, King Arthur, I have 2 other massive announcements from the same night. That night, Saman experienced the same version of breaking out of the casket.
Oh,
We were in
yes.
sacred tantra, and guys, you guys need to follow this. When you are in sacred tantra, when you have sacred sex with someone you really, really love, right when the guy comes, right when the guy orgasms, the girl is who gives the guy, or rather, if it's two girls, I don't know how that works. Maybe we can channel that on the spot right now. We've only been given information on guy and girl.
We only have the Hyros Gamos template.
Yes, so we
but
can't
there are
help.
other templates.
Yes.
Hyros Gamos is when a divine masculine and feminine are equally balanced in power and are both alchemizing all of their negatives into positives and rising in the ladder of ascension, which is also called Joseph's ladder.
Yes. So right at the moment of that sacred, orgasm, and we've been taught many techniques that we will teach you when the time is right, when you guys are at a level of vibration to accept these teachings and not go into start spinning out of vibration, because they are very high frequency teachings. But the one thing you can do is right at the time when the guy orgasms, it is very important for the woman, the divine feminine, to hold her man and allow the guy's energy to be replenished. Because
Jacob's ladder.
Okay, so it's very important for the energy to be replenished. And that's why a lot of the new, like the toxic masculines, they don't like to cuddle. Cuddling is considered, oh, you're a cuddler. Well, we cuddle all the time so Saman, right at that moment, I held him and I just held him. Something channeled through me. Divine Mother was channeling through me very powerfully that night. And he literally let go for the first time in his life. And two things were born that night. One was the feeling of safety that started coming in through our cells and started anchoring. True safety, you guys. After millions of years, we anchored in our bodies true safety, true love, and that feeling of, I am finally held.
You can let go.
And I can let go. So Saman experienced the same version of bursting out of his cage. The casket fell off. And what happened to me through my time of sacred orgasm is something that I have never experienced. What I experienced was that in a world full of toxic masculine and where the woman is really mistreated, like I was shown all these visions of porn and doctors, like abusing their roles and all kinds of abuse. Like I was shown all the polarity negative timelines.
Misuse of sexual power.
Of porn. And that moment, in complete silence, in complete stillness, the room had not even the sound of a fan. It was that quiet. In that moment of my orgasm, the divine child, the divine mother, the divine feminine, like all aspects of the divine literally birthed into this planet. And the way it was shown to me was that extreme polarity of all the negative, toxic feminines that made it very unsafe for the feminine to come into this planet have now been reversed. And finally, the divine feminine is safe to birth in this planet. And I was also shown that night that Saman was carrying out the role of the divine father, the divine child, and the divine lover, meaning he was literally holding space from all three angles. And that's really how divinity works. It's not, you're a divine father and a divine child and a divine lover. So I was also shown that he was holding space for me at such a pure level that my divine feminine felt safe enough to anchor on this planet. And that being said, we are being guided to do a YouTube video, so we'll do it in the near future. And remind us if we forget, we'll definitely do it, about the role of the masculine right now. It is so big, you guys.
Yeah.
The toxic masculine is going to the divine masculine, but there is a humongous role that you guys are playing, and nobody on earth that I know of has these codes. We're literally being taught these codes and embodying these codes. And so we need to teach you these codes, and we will.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add that at the moment of Eldora's sacred orgasm, I felt like a river of life that was connected to the primordial energies of Divine Mother. It felt like a very pure 12th dimensional frequency that was flowing in from the higher dimension, going in through her crown and coming out from her root. And I literally felt like she was connected to this river for eternity. It just was flowing through her, and we were both bathing in the frequencies for at least half an hour. And absorbing those frequencies was the most powerful experience I've ever had. I've never had that experience before.
Yeah, it was extremely powerful,
so these
you guys.
days our activations are getting next level, you guys. It's beyond words.
And for all of you watching, it is part of your divine plan to start alchemizing attracting, magnetizing your divine sacred counterpart, your soulmate, your divine partner. Because what the Lyrans have taught me is that we're all pre-coded. when we left the prism of Lyra, we're all pre-coded to connect back with the perfect divine counterpart of ours in the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, so that we can really attain mastery and ride up Jacob's ladder, the ladder of ascension together. And that's what we're doing. We're using our relationship as our biggest ascension tool, and we cannot wait to teach you all of this.
And the best tip to meet with your divine counterpart is to focus on ascension, activate your DNA, and raise your frequency.
Yes.
And this is what our channel is all about.
Okay.
So welcome.
Welcome. I'm about to blow your freaking minds right now. But before I do that, I have so much excitement. Before I do that,
I love your Lyran excitement.
Oh my God, it's like channeling through me. And guys, excitement is a very high frequency. So bask in it, take it. This is a frequency that's activating your DNA. So it's not like we're very grounded people. We're channeling divine excitement. So allow your entire cells to start activating and vibrating these D12 codes. Now, and how do you attend? So if you want to do the solar flash healing, this weekend is the best time for it. Honestly, this is what I was told. This weekend, if you can take time, if you're not part of NEMS, hop over to www.nems.love/NEMS. You'll literally see the solar flash. Actually, the solar flash event has been taken down because the next event's put up. But if you get a NEMS membership, you instantly get access to the solar flash healing and all our previous healings. So go act on that, because this healing is going to change your entire trajectory. That's all I'm going to say about it. Those of you who know you have to do it will literally set an alarm right now and go do that. And you'll have access to it as long as you're a NEMS membership. And our NEMS community is on fire. Guess what we're doing tomorrow? We're all doing a juice fast together. We're doing a liquid fast. So join our community. We are really having a good time, and we'd love to have you.
And we're going to do these community challenges together. It's not really a challenge. It's more like a fun day where we coordinate some task that helps us raise our frequency. So this time it's a juice fast. Next month, it might be something else we think of.
Now I'm going to bring out something that I've been waiting to show you guys. And I want you guys to really show me the energy you feel. I want you to blast all the channels with energy. Ready? I've been waiting for the big reveal. So we're going to talk about how Merlin and Lyra, my higher self and Lyra, played a very big role in all of this. But it literally feels like the Glastonbury story is unfolding. The biggest issue for Saman and me is to start embodying and believing that we're actually doing such major work on the planet. We're like you guys, we're normal people. We are being told things that what we're doing because of the purity of our hearts, because of the level of our consciousness, because of what we did in Egypt and Atlantis as high priests and emissaries of the light. The history we have is embedded in our DNA. And you know what we're doing? Are you guys ready? Merlin contacted us a month ago, channeled through my Lyran higher self. I can barely contain myself. And told me that I had to get a staff. I didn't listen to Merlin. I was like, that's ridiculous. Staff?
A wizard staff.
A wizard staff. I know nothing about staffs. And I said, no. A week later, Merlin channeled through us again and said, Eldora, you are to get a staff, because this is us honoring you for your mastery and your Lyran higher self and your Lyran council. Are you guys ready? I'm going to show it to you now. And I'm like, staff, like, are you serious? And not only that, they said I have to take it with me to Glastonbury. And that day, Merlin and my Lyran higher self are going to show me, and Saman, of course, even though I got the download, it was for both of us. Like, Saman, of course, needs his own staff. And so 3 times Merlin reminded me, and finally I said, okay.
And I also wanted to add that he said that a staff is only given when you are being recognized by the higher dimensions, by all the wizards, as a high priest and a high priestess. So now that we're stepping into our planetary guardianship role, where we're going all across the world with our soul family to anchor higher divine Sophia Christos codices, that makes us step into the realm of a planetary logos. So as a planetary logos, you're honored from the higher dimensions with a wizard staff. So this didn't come from us. We didn't just buy it on Amazon. This was custom made for us and presented to us. So this is a rose
and
color
presenting
staff.
My beautiful, look at that, you guys. Look at that.
This was custom made. It was literally like a vision was given to us, and we connected with the perfect person who could materialize it for us, and we gave him all of our specifications. And this is my staff. I have Shiva's staff, the masculine badass.
And I have the feminine
So
Lyran
mine
badass.
has a clear glass. Hers has a rose glass.
So guys, ready? When we do this, just know you're going to get activated all the way from the Lyran higher.
Doesn't this remind you of Atlantis? This is how we used to rock in Atlantis, you guys.
And I used this staff for the first time in the solar flash healing. And Saman's like, is that why your healing was that powerful? I'm like, I think so. I used it, remember?
Yeah, it really boosted the healing like 100,000 fold.
And it's heavy. And
so basically, the way the staff works is glass is a superconductor of electrical and magnetic energy. So frequencies from the sun and the higher dimensions pass through the glass. They pass through the wood, and the wood is laced with copper. Copper is also a very good conductor of energy. So the energy travels both from the higher dimensions into Earth and down from Earth up to the higher dimensions. So
I didn't even share this with my Office of Christ. I'm like, they need to hear it on YouTube. That's where they need to hear it. Right, you guys? And they're powerful. We've been told, so Merlin's teaching us everything now. We've been told we're taking these staffs, and they're very heavy. We're taking them with us. We're carrying them to Glastonbury. I even asked him, I'm like, are you sure we have to carry these? These are heavy. He's like, Eldora, you're going to be working with your staff to remove the implant in Stonehenge. You're going to be working with your staff and Saman's staff to activate the people coming.
And they said the frequencies that they'll be sending to us in Glastonbury from the higher dimensions, it could be from a spaceship, it could be from a central sun, but those frequencies are so powerful that our bodies cannot even handle them. So that's why we need the staff to anchor those energies. It's like as if you were passing through a 10,000 volt electricity through your body. You don't want to do that.
Guys, honestly, when I look at my life, and many of you are going to start having this if you're not already there, the guides are saying, don't take these things so lightly that you just move ahead with your life and just go on to the next thing. They're literally reminding both of us, guys, you're moving. And we're going to talk about all of this in great detail in this whole transmission. You're moving as some of the way showers of planet Earth. And many of you are following. Many of you are activating at this level. That you are now working as a planetary logos.
And many of you who are just listening and are in doubt are also beginning to feel the frequencies, which are undeniable.
And they're saying that you're now moving from just being ordinary humans. In 2024, everything's moved up a notch. This is what the Ascension's all about. They're saying we're purposely keeping the reality, the grandeur of who you are, a little bit above your physical reality, because we don't want you to get shocked by the enormity of who you are. So they're saying drip disclosure. We're giving you little drips of, oh, you were Akhenaten and Nefertiti, in working with the Law of One in Egypt. Oh, you were doing this in Atlantis. But they're saying this is to protect us. And so this is a message coming in to not just go about your spirituality in a fast, ungrounded way, just mentally, but really take time to slow down, put your hands on your heart. Everybody, guys, this is very important. And tune into, holy shit. For those of you coming to Glastonbury, I need you to have a holy shit kind of moment, because that's my homework. Sit down, lie down, and literally, it's not about paying money for a ticket and just going on a vacation. Do you know what you're coming to do in Glastonbury? If you don't, we're going to tell you in this transmission. By the end of this transmission, some of you will have tears, some of you will have activations, but every single one of you will have your souls on fucking fire. That's what I know to be true.
And people are saying your voice is different. Your tone is changing.
Really?
Yeah, people said that in...
Wow, you guys observe everything. I love that. I love that. Okay, so table of contents. What are we going to talk about in this massive video that we have so much to share? Quick rundown. We're going to talk about Merlin, our first visitation by Ascended Master Merlin in May of 2022, a personal share. We're going to talk about and share a powerful download that Siman received 2 days ago, Tuesday this week, lying on that couch. The last 2 days, Siman has literally been unpacking this whole download, and I've been taking care of the business because he's like, I need to unpack this whole download. So Siman's going to share.
It literally took the whole day yesterday to unpack the download. It's very powerful info.
He's going to talk about what Merlin shared about the city of Avalon, the Druids. Many of you have a deep connection to the Druids in Glastonbury. We're going to disseminate all of that. Many of the information we're sharing, we've never, ever, ever, ever heard. This is stuff that literally we've all been waiting for the pieces, and the pieces are just magnetizing together.
And they're also corroborated with many well-renowned channelers. So the story and the puzzle comes to us in different pieces.
Yes.
And then our specialty is to connect all the dots and create a very easy to digest picture for you guys.
And that's what Merlin helped with.
Yes.
Merlin gave us all the missing pieces.
Literally, my brain was getting fried. And when I lie down on the couch, Merlin literally gave me drip by drip all the pieces. And I had clarity.
Another thing we're going to talk about is the true story, the true meaning of the profound impact and purpose of the stone circle in Stonehenge. It is beyond what we had ever imagined it to be, and how it directly ties to the ascension of humanity. This is the latest information we got from Merlin, which we're going to share with you. We are going to talk about the Ark of the Covenant. What is it? How is it related to King Arthur, Merlin, and all of our divine mission? We're also going to talk a little bit about why were Merlin and King Arthur even on this planet? I've never heard of this. Like, why were they even on the planet? What was their divine soul mission? And how does it relate to our divine soul mission? This part just blew my socks off. We're going to talk about the legend of Arthur's sword Excalibur that Merlin forged for him. We're going to talk about the Excalibur.
This download about the Excalibur actually blew my mind, so can't wait to share that with you guys.
And we're going to share the download from Merlin about our mission in Stonehenge this year. He gave us many new pieces that we didn't have. And for those of you wondering what I'm talking about, and a reminder to everybody to hit the like button, so that helps with our algorithms. I see like very few likes. It's right on the top, on the right side. Just hit the like button, because then more people can see these transmissions. Because right now humanity needs this infusion of light. So do your part in sharing this light. And I really, really thank you for that. Also, Merlin gave us very specific codes about what we will be doing in Glastonbury. So this Lionsgate, many of us are going to Glastonbury because we feel a very powerful soul's pull to be there to do divine work for the planet as planetary guardians, really. We're emissaries of light that have purified ourselves enough and have the intention to serve, that we're being, and those of us who are meant to be there, we just know we have to be there. So we're going to share what Merlin shared. Are you guys ready? Comment and let me know, are you guys ready? Woo! All right. So our first interaction with Merlin. Yes, amazing.
So we met Merlin for the first time. Our encounter with Merlin was in Turkey in 2022. And we were there just for a vacation. And I remember sitting in the balcony. I was meditating. Eldora and I had just performed a ceremony. Our hotel was just opposite, in front of the Bosphorus River, which is a huge channel of energy on Earth as well. And we had just planted a crystal. We have all these crystals from our ceremonies that we use. They're very powerful. So we had just planted a crystal, and we usually create a pillar of light that connects all the 12 dimensions into the one location on Earth. And it helps perpetuate land healing, and as well as environmental healing, as well as a dimensional merger for Earth. So we were basking in these frequencies, and I was just like outside alone. Eldora was inside, and suddenly I felt this very powerful ray from the sun come to my third eye, and I knew beyond any doubt that it was Merlin. Now, I don't ask me how. I just knew. I saw the imagery in my third eye, and I got in a split second a download packet in my third eye that I then went inside and I unpacked with Eldora, and I was giving her bits and pieces, and she was like, okay, this goes here, this goes here. So we kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together.
And the main pieces of the puzzle were that Merlin said to us, he said only two things to us. Number one, he said, I'm going to give you something called a cyclical chakra activation that you are to give your audience, your community. We didn't even know how to spell it. So we're like, how? C-Y-C? He's like, no, S-Y-C. So it was the first time we had ever heard that term.
I have a picture of it. Let me see.
So that was the first thing he said, that you have to give a cyclical chakra activation to your community.
And this is what the cyclical chakra looks like. For those of you who don't know, it's just like, this was a new chakra that we discovered through Merlin.
Yeah.
It goes out through the top of your head.
Yeah.
There's for Instagram.
Yeah.
It goes out through the back of your head at a 45-degree angle. And it connects with a realm in this universe known as the void. And because Merlin is from an alternative dimension or alternative universe, the cyclical chakra connects through the void to that alternative universe. And it helps you download information from all 12 dimensions at the same time. And we gave an activation of this chakra in our Merlin course, which is available at nems.love if you check out our premium courses.
So basically, it's www.nems.love/Merlin will take you to this particular activation that we did for our community 2 years ago in 2022. Till today, our students are doing it on repeat because they're activating their cyclical chakra. B, they're also gifted an Excalibur sword by Merlin himself in the
There's a sword of
activation.
light activation.
Very powerful. And guess what? For those of you coming to Glastonbury, Merlin has strongly, most of you have already purchased the course. If not, he's strongly recommending that you do, and you repeat the cyclical chakra activation in preparation for Glastonbury. And you know what blows our minds off? Yesterday in our community, all our students, a few of our students were saying, oh my God, you're talking about Merlin. We were guided to do your Merlin activation. It was amazing. We just did it because you have to. Merlin said that this is really going to help blast open your higher channels to absorb the light that we're going to be sent in Glastonbury. So www.nems.love/Merlin is where the activation is.
Yeah. So,
and hold on. Another thing Merlin told us was that we were to go to England, UK,
yes,
for solstice that year.
Yeah.
So he came in. Oh, okay. Hold on. So
before that, let's go to the walk that we took in the picture.
Not yet. Hold on. So
Yeah.
Merlin told us two things. One is the cyclical chakra. And second, he said, let's take a breath. Let's take a deep breath, everybody.
know, so
Let's
much
all take a
energy.
breath. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go in. Take a deep breath in.
I love that.
Another deep breath together. And one last one. That was good. So then what Merlin said was two things, the cyclical chakra activation. And he also said that next month in June of that year, in 2022, Siman and I were supposed to go to England, and that he would guide us on where to go, what sacred sites to visit, exactly what sacred sites to visit even before going to the sacred site, so we get permission to visit these sacred sites.
There's specific protocols he gave us to ask for permissions from the spirits of each site.
Yes.
And we're going to practice that in our upcoming Glastonbury event.
And basically what he said to us was that we had to go in 2022 to get these activations from him and the spirits and the land and the vortices there, and that we would then be sharing those at a later date with humanity. So all of this is just clicking like crazy in our minds. So 2 years ago, we got this activation, and guess what? That June of 2022, we invited our entire team that flew in from all over the world, again, upon guidance, to visit us in London. And we went to the tour, we went to Avebury, we didn't go to Stonehenge, I think. And one of the days, we actually experienced a real life source coming down kind of moment. We were just casually calling it a picnic. We were all planning a picnic. Some of the team members, Merlin and Sistara, they set up a very powerful sacred altar. And, we had like cookies and Oreo and all like unhealthy chips. That was like our treat day. We thought it was a picnic and everything. And they had set up all the Metatron, Thought, all these cards, angel cards. And Saman and I came a bit late, and it was the most stunning garden, like in the backyard of our Airbnb. It was stunning, river falls and waters, and it literally looked like the higher dimension. 5 minutes after we sat in circle, something started happening to Saman. And he's like, guys, I think something's activating in my throat
chakra. I just felt like I was going to give out a channel message. And this usually doesn't happen like in the middle of a social occasion where there's friends hanging out. And I was like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm about to channel a message. And everyone's like, sure, okay,
no,
fine.
Everybody was in awe.
Yeah, everyone was like very like on high alert.
And I was like, pick up, and my message was pick up the freaking phone and record it.
So
and
we
I
all
recorded
made a
it.
circle, and yeah, we were so lucky that she recorded
Yes.
it because she felt how urgent that energy was.
Everybody felt it. And what was it? The voice of God transmission.
It's that whole transmission is available on our YouTube channel. If you go back to our older videos
Just
from
look for
22, you'll see the voice of God transmission. You may not be able to pick up how powerful the frequency was in the recording, but when I was channeling that energy, it literally felt like everyone's wigs were flying away. Like it felt like this burst of energy, and it came down like a pillar, and it was creating like a whoosh, like an explosion.
Merlin, who was there with us, we were crying. We were sobbing in humility. Merlin was crying. Sistara, Liara, we were all just weeping.
And one of the girls from our team literally started wailing like from ancient times, like all of her veils were coming out and her body started convulsing. And so much so that the Airbnb owner from next door got concerned and came over.
He's like, are you guys okay?
He's like, what's going on? And she was like convulsing and crying.
Like, you know how spiritual people act crazy when there's like we just let. And so we made up a story.
So we didn't freak him out. We just told him, oh, she just broke up with her boyfriend.
Just so he wouldn't go crazy on us. Like we
He
can't
must
say.
be like, you guys are nut jobs, but sure, whatever you say.
And you know, the most powerful part of that night was the day, it was in the afternoon. Saman, I don't know if you've realized this. That was the day our royalty reminders, our galactic avatars came online. That was the day the Nefertiti and Akhenaten timelines were inserted into our
Oh,
records.
yes.
That was the day we
You're connecting
realized,
the dots for me
holy
now.
shit, I was even saying to you, the children have
Wow.
arrived. That was the day
That was the day.
and
Holy
you still
shit.
don't have the download. You know what they're saying?
What?
That was the day. And now in August Lionsgate, now they're going to receive the galactic
Oh my
activations of their
God.
divine
This is all
royalty.
preparation for Egypt, you guys. Because
Now that I didn't get.
when we went to Glastonbury, we got our Akhenaten Nefertiti activation, and then we went to Egypt, right?
Yes.
And there we got the second activation.
And you guys will hear Merlin's, when we get to the part about Merlin's download, about what we will be doing in Glastonbury this year is exactly what Merlin did for us 2 years ago in Glastonbury. So we got these activations that we're now going to be channeling. And that's why we've been given these staffs, because until now we were in training. We were not ready. Yeah. And also Merlin said that you have to have a very harmonized ego before you can be gifted an Atlantean staff, because these staffs are very, very powerful. Very powerful. It's like a Vogel. Like, you know, Saman and I have these massive Vogels that were also gifted to us 5 or 6 years ago. And now I feel the staff is our upgrade. And they've even shown us exactly how, to be honest, I still don't have the full download, but they're showing us how to use the staff and bring down energy to clear implants, to do all kinds of planetary
work. They said that
work.
when we're in Glastonbury in person, we're going to be channeling this energy from the higher dimension through the staff, and it'll raise the frequency of the person in front of you to such a high degree that many implants, hundreds of implants, will just come out of their body because you're no longer a frequential match for them. So we're going to be channeling energies and saying chants with the staff.
Do you guys feel that? I don't know if you guys feel it, but it's very, very potent and very powerful.
And the first time that Merlin came, we were a bit in disbelief. So we went out for a walk. I remember that evening, the first time after we got all these downloads to go to England, the cyclical chakra, all of this, we went for a walk and we were discussing, okay, did anything that just happened, is all of this real? Like, we were literally a bit in shock and disbelief.
This was 2 hours or 3 hours after Merlin came in.
Then we got lost on our walk because we were in the middle of Turkey and we didn't know how to get back to our hotel. So we took a deviation. And in this deviation,
we took a random deviation into a random godforsaken street in Istanbul.
We saw a sacred sign, and this was the sacred sign. You see the small letters? I'll show it on YouTube, Facebook first. Excalibur. This was a billboard. This picture was taken from my phone. Now I'm going to show it to Instagram. This picture was taken from our phones during the walk, and it says Excalibur in the middle of Turkey. So that's Merlin's tongue-in-cheek humor saying all of this was real. Don't go back into your human forgetfulness. So a lot has happened.
So much has happened.
And now,
guys,
after 2 years, we're getting a visitation from Merlin again and getting new downloads about Glastonbury.
Whew.
So let's go a bit over let's get into it now.
Yeah, and also they said this activation of the galactic royalty codes that's coming in is really an activation of, like, it's financial freedom. It's breaking free from the 666 Orion banking system and moving into the new earth system of infinite abundance and peace and sovereignty, and taking back our personal power and really activating our divine royalty.
So go into the table of contents.
Yes, let's do that. Oh, and I also want to say that, remember there was this raffle we gave away to Glastonbury, and we gave it to 2 people and one of them couldn't make it because he had student loans or whatever. We've gifted that to another person from our community from New Earth Mystery School. She also came to our retreat, our Pleiadian retreat in Tulum in December. So we've gifted her. Her name is Takamse. Congratulations. My heart just guided that free ticket to Glastonbury should go to her. She's a full-time nurse. She's a part-time Reiki master, really like kind of struggling to make ends meet, hasn't yet quite cracked her abundance, but she is such a student of the Ascension. She's always doing all of our activations, all of our healings. She's so fully there as an Ascension junkie that we were guided that this, and I was also guided to come say that this event will help you bridge your gap between your service, which is your Reiki healing and land healing, and connecting that to your abundance, so that you will be now gifted abundantly for your soul's gifts. And that's the timeline you are entering in this Lionsgate with us in Glastonbury. So congratulations.
Go down.
Okay, so where are we going? We're going to start with this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to start with the download that I received from Merlin 2 days ago. Okay. So this is about the city of Avalon. So when I was lying on the couch and getting this download, he literally showed me the connection between the Druids,
Move a little
Essenes.
bit. I want to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
So Merlin literally showed me the connection between the Druids, Essenes, the Celts, and what we're going to be doing in Glastonbury. So remember in our few videos ago, we gave the story of ancient Egypt. And when Akhenaten and Nefertiti were present in ancient Egypt, approximately 1300 BC, they were spreading the teachings of the law of one on planet Earth. And they were literally teaching humanity how to be in harmony with the cycles of the sun. So Akhenaten literally means the one who is adept in the ways of the sun. So the Druids and the Essenes were part of the mystery school that was led by Akhenaten and Nefertiti. And the Druids, Essenes, and the Celts were actually the descendants of the Masters of Atlantis. So these were families of beings that kept the teachings of Atlantis alive. And after Akhenaten and Nefertiti were their rule ended, their whole dynasty was overthrown ruthlessly by Amun-Ra. After that, the whole mystery school rapidly disintegrated. The Druids, Essenes, and Celts all dispersed throughout Earth. The Druids went to Glastonbury area. It was Glastonbury at that time was an island. It was known as the Isle of Avalon. So the Druids brought all the feminine wisdom of Isis. They were learning in Egypt. They brought all the feminine wisdom of Isis into Glastonbury. And there they set up approximately 6,000 schools and Druid universities where they were teaching all of these teachings of the law of one. And their religion taught that everything is in harmony with nature. So their religion was based around Mother Nature and being in harmony with the cycles of Gaia. So for them, for the Druid religion, it was like trees, rocks, plants, animals are all living conscious beings. They were sacred, just like humans. Nothing was meant to be harmed. And they believed that Earth was in the inner Earth. They believed that heaven was in the underworld. They didn't think that heaven was above Earth. They believed that after we die, we're buried under Earth and our soul goes to inner Earth, Agartha. So that is the reason that the Druids, when they did all of their ceremonies in Avebury, Glastonbury, Stonehenge, and all these sacred vortices, they used to send all the codes, all the codes that they were channeling from the angelic realms during the solstice ceremonies. They planted them in the core of Earth, in the core of inner Earth. So the city of Avalon, which is an etheric city that we are going to be melding with in Glastonbury on Lionsgate, the city of Avalon is an etheric city that the Druids helped build. They helped create it because they planted all of the codes in that time in anticipation of the arrival of the Ascension timelines now. So 2,000 years ago, before the times of Yeshua, the Druids were planting seeds for the ascension of humanity, and they helped create the city of Avalon. So this was the big download that Merlin said. The city of Avalon that we're going to be raising from inner Earth was actually created by the Druids. And in Glastonbury, we're going to be merging with Avalon and bringing it up and merging it with Glastonbury and opening up all the codes of abundance for planet Earth. And also this gives us the templates of new Earth. It's like we're evolving our planet hundreds of years into the future very quickly.
Guys, really, isn't this information, you know, Siman and I are really, I don't know if you guys resonate with this. I think you do. Siman and I are really, in the last few days, trying to be present to the enormity of the stuff that we're saying. Are you 100% up to date with this?
I'm still assimilating all of this information, to be honest.
Same.
It's like so much that I'm still unpacking
It is so
it.
much that it is showing us what we're here to do, and we are the children that are doing it. And as the story progresses, you guys will get even more pieces of how all of this.
Right. So now progressing past the time of Yeshua, the Druids were actually preparing for Yeshua's arrival. They knew hundreds of years in advance that a Messiah will come who will do great work on earth. So when Yeshua actually incarnated 2,000 years ago, there was this tool. It was a gold box known as the Ark of the Covenant. This is something that archaeologists have labeled an enigma. And they've been searching, scientists from all over the world have been searching for the Ark of the Covenant for hundreds of years, and it hasn't been found. The reason is because the Ark of the Covenant at the time of Yeshua, the Ark of the Covenant was stolen by the dark forces, by the Niburian Anunnaki forces. And that was the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was under an evil extraterrestrial kind of following. So the Romans had possession of the Ark of the Covenant. And what is the Ark of the Covenant? It's a tool. It's an interdimensional tool from the times of Atlantis. It's supposed to be made of pure gold. That's what we were told. And it was stored in the ancient mystery schools of Egypt in a secret location, so that the dark ones won't find it. However, during Yeshua's time, the Roman Empire found it in a war, and they illegally seized it. And the reason that everyone was after the Ark of the Covenant was because it is a very powerful interdimensional key that can open the portal of Stonehenge. Okay? So now we're coming to Stonehenge. Now, the Ark of the Covenant was stolen. The dark leaders, or the cabal of that time, tried to do a dark magic ritual using the Ark of Covenant in Stonehenge, but they were unable to access all of the codes of Stonehenge. Why were they unable to access it? Because it requires a dimensional 12 coded individual, which basically means you have to be Yeshua or a Mary Magdalene in order. You have to have assimilated all the strands of your DNA. This Ark of the Covenant is not a technology. It's a vibrational technology. It's not an electrical technology. You can only access it when you have the Christos Sophia D12 coding. So the Dark Ones were partially able to open Stonehenge, just enough that they could access the black magic spells and access some security protocols of Earth. They were not able to fully disable it. Now, the next part of the download is what blew my mind, and that's why we made the video. The next part of the download, Merlin said, King Arthur and his legendary Knights of the Round Table, they were a timeline insert on planet Earth. What does that mean? A timeline insert is when you know how you had those videotapes that you put in your VCR and you watch a movie? Same way, in our 3D reality, because we're in a hologram, you can insert a program into the hologram and it creates a timeline that's big enough to change the world. That's what's called a timeline insert. So King Arthur and his 12 knights were a timeline insert on planet Earth, and they arrived here with a specific mission to recover the lost Ark of the Covenant. That was the main mission why they came here.
So that it could be returned to the light.
Yeah, so they didn't just randomly incarnate on Earth and find each other and go on all these missions. King Arthur and the legendary 12 Knights of the Round Table were higher dimensional beings who had a pre-coded soul contract to incarnate on Earth, meet at a specific time, and they were also related to Merlin. Merlin is also an ascended master who arrived at the same time as he arrived shortly before King Arthur was born to prepare the land for him. King Arthur had a very important mission. He had a two-pronged mission. One was to recover the lost Ark of the Covenant, and two was to disable the damage that the Dark Order had done to the Stonehenge portal through the Niburian Diodetic Crystal.
Tell them a bit more.
We spoke all about this in an earlier video, so you can catch up to our earlier videos. You'll catch the whole story.
Talk a little bit about it.
But The Niburian diodetic crystal is a extraterrestrial Anunnaki technology. It is a giant crystal that has been placed in underground beneath Stonehenge. It was placed approximately 25,000 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And this whole crystal attempts to access the security protocols of Earth, because Glastonbury and Stonehenge specifically are known as an access point for the heart chakra of Earth. And from there, you can actually access the security protocols of Earth. There's a shielding mechanism that protects Earth, and they were trying to disable it. They were able to do it only to a certain extent. However, because they didn't have the higher frequency coding, they could not go all the way. So they did enough damage that it put a black magic spell on humanity. And that's why most humans, most of humanity, most of the human population is in a veil of amnesia. That's why people are not waking up. So in essence, what we were told by Merlin is that King Arthur was successful in half of his mission. He was successful in recovering the Ark of the Covenant, but he was not successful in using it to disable the Niburian diodetic crystal. Got it so far? Are you guys with me? I know there's a lot of information here, and I'm doing my best to lay it out step by step. So if you guys have any questions, let me know and I'll come back. We'll do our best to come back and create the whole picture.
You want to talk about Andromeda or not?
Yeah. So the Ark of the Covenant, is a multi-dimensional object. Okay. Right now, thankfully, because Arthur and his knights recovered it, it's back in the safe hands of the Galactic Federation of Worlds, the positive ETs. So they cannot let the negative ETs cannot access Earth through it. However, it was a close call. For a while, we were under a lot of attack because of this. Now, the second part is that because Arthur was not able to disable the Niburian diodetic crystal, the black magic spells still continued on Earth. He was not able to disable it. However, recently, the galactic forces have been able to disable the black magic spells on Earth, which we said in our previous video. And now we're the people who are going to Glastonbury on August 8th, all of us, and even the people who are helping us remotely, we're the cleanup crew. We're the ground crew who are being given the mission to continue what Arthur and Merlin had left behind. Okay, so this is huge.
This was the part of the download that knocked our socks off. This was 2 days ago. We received this download 2 days ago from Merlin. And when he said, you're literally going to clean up what Arthur and his round table knights could not, we're like, holy shit, it's all starting to make sense.
And another download that Merlin gave us was that when Arthur recovered the Ark of the Covenant, it is such a powerful extraterrestrial artifact that it contains D12 coding. That means it contains pure source frequencies, and it connects to the 12th dimension. So it's like an interdimensional portal key, and you can use it for Stonehenge, and you can use it for other Stargate portals as well. The legend of Excalibur, what was that? The legend of Excalibur was that when Arthur recovered the lost Ark of the Covenant, which was originally named the Ark of the Covenant of Palador, they recovered it, and then Merlin used the Ark of the Covenant to forge a sword for Arthur, which would make him invincible.
To forge a sword for Arthur. So yes. Merlin, out of his unconditional love and also realizing what a profound role Arthur has to play for humanity, he forged, through the Ark of the Covenant, he forged the most magical sword that has ever existed, specially made for Arthur as a gift, because this sword, Excalibur, contained an actual part of the Ark of the Covenant.
It contained a crystal that was found in the Ark of the Covenant, and that was placed in the emblem of the sword. So the sword basically now has D12 coding, and it would make Arthur invincible. But unfortunately, it only made him invincible to a certain point. Eventually, Arthur was defeated by one of his enemies, and he was killed in battle. And
because it wasn't time.
And he was actually dragged by Merlin to the Isle of Avalon, where he passed away. So there's an actual site where Merlin brought Arthur, where he actually passed away, and that's also a sacred site. So now Merlin explained to us, why was Stonehenge and Avebury so important? Why were the stones placed there, and who placed them?
And before,
when were they placed?
And before we go there, let's quickly talk about what Merlin also shared with us, that through Stonehenge, basically there's a Stargate connection to Andromeda. And that Stargate connection to Andromeda is very important for higher dimensional souls like you and I to come into this third density planet to assist with the ascension of humanity.
Exactly.
And he literally says, and also it's a one-way connection. So once we come in, if we forget who we are, there's only one way to get back, to raise our frequency to fifth dimensional consciousness and go back. So many of us have come in through this portal that is now still active, right?
Yeah.
It's an active portal through Andromeda. So whether we come from Lyra or wherever, we're all coming in through this Andromeda Stargate portal into planet Earth. And what the Anunnaki were trying to do was prevent this access, because they wanted to eliminate higher dimensional beings like us from even coming to planet Earth, so that they could make this Earth a frequency-controlled prison planet and just rule over humanity and eventually make them a robotic, AI-controlled slave race. And that is no longer allowed to happen, because all of this technology in Stonehenge is being reversed. This year, in August, for Lionsgate, many of us are going there physically. And we're going to talk very specifically about what Merlin said we're even going to be doing there, which was very tangible to understand the power of what we're going to do and how each of us plays a crucial role in this divine unfolding.
Yeah. And many people who are connected to this history must also be wondering, who are the knights, the Templar knights? So that myth was also debunked by Merlin. In the download, what we got was that the Templar knights are descendants of the Luciferian Anu Melchizedeks. So the Templar knights were under the guise of this military force that was doing good for the public, but they were actually just out searching for the Ark of the Covenant so they could control. They were basically the underground military organization of the Luciferians, or the Dark Ones. So the Templar Knights actually waged battle against King Arthur at one point as well. And they were a very ruthless and deadly force that played a very vital and shocking role in our history, in the history of England. And the Templar Knights eventually, they did not just fizzle off into history. Eventually what happened after 500-600 AD, they perpetuated many crusades. Many of the crusades that were fought in the name of Christianity were fought by the Templar Knights just to get more and more people under the force of war to become Christians and start paying taxes to the Roman Church. So the Templar Knights were basically strong-arming the people for the Roman Catholic Church. And eventually, they didn't just disband, they went into politics and they became the bankers and the politicians. So the Templar Knights are the ancestors, and their descendants are the Illuminati bankers and the Cabal leaders. So it's the same family. They keep their bloodlines very tight.
So profound. So let's move into what Merlin said. There's a little bit of this information that you already know from previous transmissions, and a few of this that's very new even to us. So he gave us specific instructions, or not instructions, information on what and how we're going to be carrying out this divine mission in Glastonbury. He said the main mission is the Niburian negative diodetic crystal that is implanted by the negative extraterrestrials in Anunnaki, in Glastonbury, in Stonehenge. And he literally said that you need D12 coding and purity of heart to even attempt to unlock this negative crystal. He also said that we as a collective, the ones who are going to Glastonbury this year, and many of you coming will resonate. You'll just have of course, you know this. You are the ones. We are the ones. He said we as a collective have the codes that are needed. And many of us are coming together physically in Glastonbury with different aspects of this coding, D12 coding. So combined together, I have goosebumps, you guys. Can you see my goosebumps? We have all the keys to do this sacred mission.
So let me explain that in a different way. Merlin said that in Glastonbury, we as a rainbow tribe are going to be combining all of our frequencies to achieve a Christo Sophia D12 frequency. You know what that means?
Take a moment to absorb that, you guys. Tigris says she has tears. You're in the right frequency, Tigris. If you're getting tears, you're in the right frequency.
It will take all of us together to complete all the strands of the DNA. And together we have the same frequency as Yeshua and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary.
We have the same purity of heart. We have the same alignment to service. And that's why Tecumseh won.
That's why it's very important that you feel the call from your heart and you follow it.
Yes.
Those who are feeling the call are the ones showing up, because Glastonbury is going to be one of the most powerful initiations of your life.
And what do we mean by an initiation? I can speak through experience. Siman and I, over the course of the last 11 years ago, Siman and I were 100% asleep. We were both in the Islam religion. We had just met, we left 2 horrible marriages to come together. My ear just started ringing. And as soon as we came together, our soul mission activated, and we were told that we will be pillars of a community. We will do all kinds of amazing work in a weird way that we didn't want to accept, because it was so egoic in our minds. We were kind of like had this frequency of we're it. Just like we're telling you guys, we are it, whatever that means for you. And all the things they showed us, everything they prophesized came true like magic. We were gifted, we started the New Earth Mystery School. We started House of Ra Ascension Festival. We started doing land healing. Everything just started to click. We started hosting high frequency retreats, plant medicine retreats, where we started, really helping humanity by removing all these implants that they're stuck with. And what they're saying that this time in Glastonbury, in Stonehenge, we're all going to be channeling some specific rainbow frequency through us that a spaceship will send us. We don't know if it's coming from a spaceship or the sun, but we've been told very clearly that specific frequencies will be sent through us. And together we will be using chants from our vocal cords, specific rituals and steps that we still haven't received. And together as a tribe, we're going to be reversing this Niburian diodetic crystal in Stonehenge. And how is that going to affect planet Earth as well?
We're going to reverse the coding of that with our crystal Sophia coding. And Merlin said we're going to use 2 frequencies. One is the tribal soul family rainbow frequency. So that's the rainbow frequency that we all carry within our DNA. And when soul family and we're considered angelic humans of the bird tribes, that means we are all volunteers from higher dimensions, and we know who we are. It's like a self-assigned title. You're not given this title by a priest. You actually activate it within yourself, and you step up to your mission. As simple as that. Nobody tells you to do it. We were never told to do this. We just unlocked our powers and kept moving forward, and we never doubted ourselves.
And we kept initiating.
So you're being asked to also not doubt yourself. If you're feeling a call, put one foot in front of the other and keep moving forward. Don't doubt. And secondly, so there's going to be one rainbow frequency that we'll utter with our voice, and that's going to create fire codes that are like living commands. They're living conscious beings, but they're chanted through our vocal cords. But because they're combined with higher dimensional frequencies coming from a spaceship or a central sun, they're going to be mixed with the signet fire frequencies coming from a higher dimension. The signets stargate frequencies from higher dimensions. And both of these frequencies combined are going to create what is known as a fire code. And these fire codes are living, breathing, conscious constructs of energy. They look like fire if you look at it from the etheric eye. That's why it's called a fire code. And it's like codes of the matrix that goes into the Stonehenge portal. And when it goes into the Stonehenge portal, this code knows what to do. So it's going to reverse the polarity of all the negative black magic spells that have been blocking Earth from the higher dimensions. And it's going to start literally, like if Stonehenge is going counterclockwise in its energy vortex, it's going to stop for a few seconds, and then it's going to start going clockwise for the first time in 25,000 years, my friends. So it'll be like we're opening up a wellspring from the 12th dimension into the heart chakra of Mother Earth.
Oh, and also tell them how the Kundalini flows.
Yeah, exactly. So now getting to the download.
Oh, hold on. And what else will we be doing? We will also, another thing they said was not only will we be reversing the negative damage of this crystal, we're going to be putting a positive spin to it. This got me very excited. We're going to be like basically disabling the 666 Orion codes and enabling the divine galactic royalty codes of abundance and freedom and sovereignty and unconditional love and new earth frequencies from coming in. Merlin also said, we're going to be deactivating the artificial connection right now between Stonehenge and Nibiru. Nibiru, the negative extraterrestrials, have a connection to partial Stonehenge technology through Nibiru, and we're going to be disabling that. We're also going to be reactivating the connection between Stonehenge, Lyra, Sirius B, and Andromeda.
Yes.
And oh, this was very exciting. They said, you know how until now the Pleiadians have been our main mentors? We're now progressing past the Pleiadians. We're now moving in to start receiving higher galactic training and information from the higher, more advanced galactic societies of Lyra, Sirius B, and Andromeda. Those were the three we were told. And we were also told that those of you coming are going to receive very major galactic keys within your light body that are going to really activate you instantly. And your voice codes, your higher heart code, your rainbow ray primal life force currents. Merlin was very technical. I just wrote all of this. Stargate, signet, fire codes, frequencies through the entire group. So it is huge, you guys. It is huge what we're going to be doing. And one of my requests to you, or my advice to you, is this particular video is a frequency transmission from the higher realms. Absorb it. Don't let this frequency disseminate, just disseminate and just melt off because you've now moved to the next thrill of life. I really want you to understand your place in all of this. Your place could be as simple as you are a light worker, purifying yourself, cleansing yourself, aligning to the light bit by bit, working on your shadows, working on your triggers, whatever the case may be. Or you may be an ascension junkie and a front runner, a way shower. Wherever you are in the spectrum, they are reminding you to congratulate yourself and not judge yourself. Why? The minute you judge yourself or you feel sick about what a loser you are going to go into a negative timeline that is going to spin you out of vibration with this timeline. The only code is forgive yourself. There is no blame. There is no mistake. You have not made any mistake. You are on the path. You are on the ascending path. If you were not, you would not be attracted to our channel. We are the way showers of the Ascension. We are master teachers of the Ascension. This is what our superpower is. And if you are in this frequency, it is important to not hold on to guilt or ego or projection or separation, because that's going to spin you out of...
Or even that I'm not good enough to come to these portals. Yes. That's a big one.
Or victim consciousness. Forgive yourself. You know what? I recently watched a show. The biggest advice I can give you, this girl was going into all kinds of negative things. And she said, how do I move past from where I've been? Like I've been doing such bad things on earth. And you know what this guy says to her? Start by forgiving yourself. Because the minute you forgive yourself, you will have your path back to God. So this is very important for us to really recognize the momentous occasion of these times and not just be these unintelligent light workers who just move from video to video to video to video to video to just pass away our time, but to really embody the source frequencies that are coming into planet Earth right now.
In your life, make positive changes in your life. That's the key to rising higher in the Ascension. And the final part of the download that we wanted to share was why were the stone circles of Stonehenge and Avebury placed there? And that was the most interesting part of the download. So we were shown by Merlin that there is a Sophia dragon ley line that runs through the whole length of planet Earth. It runs through all the continents. And it's like a sine wave. It goes in unpredictable kind of pattern. Sorry, it's not like a sine wave. It curves up and down like a sine wave, but sometimes it takes unexpected turns. So it's like a zigzag pattern all over the Earth. The Sophia dragon ley line starts from the Giza pyramid.
Yes.
That's where Orion first sends us the code of the tree of life from the higher dimensions. And that code is sent from the Giza pyramid and turns into two currents, the male, Christos, and the female, Sophia. So these two currents go from the pyramid, they go towards the sky and go into the Earth.
So basically the way it works is the lowest pyramid goes to the, I don't know if you showed this, but they showed it to us like it goes up, it hits the top of the Giza pyramid, and then it dives down into planet Earth. And that's the direction that the wave takes throughout its travel,
right,
as like the serpent line of Earth.
And from there, it connects into England and the whole... So imagine the map of England and two serpent lines coiling and intertwining. Any point in the map of England, these two lines intersect with each other is a sacred site.
Right.
Avalon, Avebury is the dead center of this line in England.
Yes.
That's why Merlin said Avebury is more important than Stonehenge. Even Avebury is like the heart of England, so to speak. So that's where you'll receive the most potent energies from the higher dimensions. And Stonehenge and Avebury, these were basically the rocks that were placed there were approximately, according to my download, 3500 BC, and they were placed there by the Celts, the Druids, in conjunction with the Galactics. Because the stones are so huge, some of these stones are like weighing over 100 tons, and they've been transported over 140 kilometers from one part of England to Stonehenge.
And Avebury was the most activating place even for us. When we went to Avebury, that's where everything changed, remember?
Yeah.
More than Stonehenge.
Yeah.
More than the Tor.
Yeah.
Avebury was very, very, very powerful.
So basically, literally, when you look at the map of Avebury, it looks like a curved line like this and a curved line like this. So it's literally representation of the masculine and feminine energy that intersects in the center of Avebury. And we'll all see that with our own eyes, and we're all going to be absorbing the frequencies of the Sophia Dragon ley line. And on August 8th, because August 8th is Lionsgate, which means it's the day of the helical rise of Sirius. What does that mean? It means that on August 8th, Sirius and our sun line up. That's what's called the Lion's Gate. It opens a portal from our solar system into Sirius B, and from Sirius B into Lyra. So on August 8th, we're all going to be connecting the energies of the Sophia Dragon ley line to Sirius B, Lyra, and Andromeda. And we're going to be the human counterparts to absorb these frequencies first. And that's why thousands of people go on pilgrimages to Glastonbury and absorb these frequencies.
Wow.
And this year is going to be something special.
Yes. So guys, for those of you who are feeling the call, we have about 20 spots left, after which we'll be closing off the container. Go to www.nems.love/888 and you will see the Glastonbury event, nems.love/888. For those of you who've already bought tickets, I have a little bit of advice, tips, suggestions from my heart. Be very aware that this is a very major initiation. So your triggers may come up, your ungratitude may come up.
Or your ego story may
your
come
ego
up.
stories may come up. This is very
There
typical.
may be 100 reasons your ego will try to convince you not to come.
And not only that, that's a very important thing to remember. Like, you may think you're going, but if something happens and you're going to be invited, you're being called, you're not going, you're being called, you're being invited. So that's the message they want you to know. And they're also saying that this is the time when your ego will try its hardest to take you into a lower timeline. Even those of you who have tickets into a lower timeline, that will spin you out of vibration, because the ego is always going to put you in division, separation.
And it can happen in the most innocent of forms. Like,
Yes.
let's say someone comes to our event and deep in their heart, they have a very innocent desire to be in the forefront and be recognized by Eldora and me. That happens all the time. That's why I'm using it as an example.
Great example.
So if someone has this egoic desire, it may seem like an innocent inner child desire to be recognized by people you consider your teachers, which is an honor for us. But sometimes people get triggered because we're not allowed to give attention to such students. We are suddenly energetically made aloof when we detect even a sliver of ego asking for attention.
Yes.
And that triggers the ego even more. And then they
Yes.
say, why did you not properly hug me? Or why did you spend time with others and I waited patiently for half an hour and you didn't even acknowledge me? These are all stories of the ego. So you'll think you're coming to do all this light work, you've been dieting, you've been detoxing, and suddenly one silly little story in your mind can derail your whole experience.
Yes. So humility, even for us guys, we were only a vibrational match to these staffs and all these amazing, transmissions, because finally, it's been a severe ego training. Finally, I can say on TV, on YouTube, that I'm free of my ego's clutch. Right, Saman? We can both say that out loud. You know why that is? Until now, the ego could still have a hold on us if we were unconscious of it. And now, finally, this year, we're free. We can see all aspects of our ego. Even if it's in play, we can see it. So once we see it, we can harmonize it. And because of that, we become pure agents of God. And only pure agents of God who've harmonized their ego, who've really gone into humility of service. We're just agents of God. We're in service. It's not like I have my freaking staff. Now let me do a photo shoot. I might do that too. But it's the humility.
You're allowed to do the photo shoot with humility.
I can't wait to do my photo shoot with my staff. But humility is the basis of what Simana and I vibrate. And when we're not in humility, we immediately show each other. It's like, hey, have some humility. It's something that we just vibrate. And this is a reminder for all of you. Return to innocence, return to humility, just return to simplicity, return to the heart, and we'll be just fine. Thank you guys so much for watching.
This was an amazing download, and we loved sharing it with you guys. And we loved that you stayed with us till the end.
Yes. Bye, you guys. I am really excited to see which of you feel the call to close off this container. And I am so excited to connect with you all in Glastonbury. It is such an honor. I look forward to getting to know many of you, understand how, and on the last day, by the way, on the last day, a day after the event ends, we're just all staying an extra day so we can, I don't know, go somewhere, shoot the shit, have some fun after all these activations, let loose. This is on the 11th. So stay an extra day is my point. I love you guys. Until next time.
Take care, everyone.
Bye now.
Love you guys.